वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मवेद्वरं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुवर विमल जस जो नायक फलचार बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार वर बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरण जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम बंधु कहई कटु समुन्मत तोरे तू चल विनय करसि कर जोरे करु परितोष मोर संग्रामा नाही न चाल कहाऊ रामा चलत जी करहि समरु शिवद्रोही बंधु सहित नत मारऊ तोही भृगुपति कहि कुठारऊ धाई मनहु सुखाहि राम सिर नाई पुनः लखन करो हम पर रोषो कतहु सुधाई होते बड़ दोषो टेढ़ जारि सब बंदई काहू वक्र चंद्र महि ग्रसई न राहु राम कहेहु विसत जिय मुनीसा कर कुठार आगे यह सीसा जय रे सजाई करिय सोई स्वामी मोहि जानिय आपन अनुगामी श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम प्रभु ईश्वर समरु कसा तजहु बे प्रवर रोसु राम तजहु बे प्रवर रोसु बेसु बिलोके कहे सिकछु बाल कहूँ नहीं दोसु सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरण शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम श्री राम जय जय राम रामचंद्र की जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। जय रघुवंश बन जबन भानु।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
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 सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता
राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम। सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
साथी है मित्र गंग के जल बिंदु पान तक। अर्धांगिनी बढ़ेगी तो केवल मकान तक। परिवार के सब लोग चलेंगे स्मशान तक। बेटा भी हक निभाएगा तो अग्निदान तक। इससे तो आगे, इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा। इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन
अकेला रहेगा।
इससे तो आगे भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा। इससे तो आगे
भजन ही है साथी। हरि के भजन बिन अकेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा। कायम न जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन मेला रहेगा। कायम जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा। कायम न जग का जमेला रहेगा।
जीवन ये 2 दिन का मेला रहेगा।
praises to Lord Ganesh, Mother Saraswati, Guru, Bhagwan Ram, Hanuman ji. Gajananam Bhutganadisevitam Kapit Jambu Phalasar Bhakshanam Umasutam Shok Vinashakaranam Namami Vighaneshwar Pad Pankajam Ya Kundendu Tusharhar Dhavala Ya Shubhra Vastravrata Ya Vina Varadanda Mandita Kara Ya Shvet Padmasana Ya Brahmachyuta Shankar Prabhritibhi Devai Sada Vandita Samam Patu Saraswati Bhagavati Samam Patu Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesh Jadyapaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Loka Viramam Ragdi Loka Viram Ranarangadiram Rajivanetram Raghuvam Shanatham Karunyarupam Karunakaram Tam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye Manojavam Marutulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye Bolo Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Bolo
Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Raja Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram
Raja Ram Ram
मंगल भवन मंगल हारी, द्रवऊस दशरथ अजिर बिहारी।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए वरु बचन न जाए।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
काहू न को सुख दुख कर दाता, निज कृत कर्म भोग सब भ्राता।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
कर्म प्रधान विश्व कर राखा, जो जस करई सो तस फल चाखा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
होई ही सोई जो राम रच राखा, ओ करि तर्क बढ़ावे साखा। श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
अवध तहाँ जहाँ राम निवासु, दिवस तहई जहाँ भानु प्रकाशु।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
कोमल चित अति दीन दयाला, कारण बिनु रघुनाथ कृपाला। श्री
राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
गुरु बिनु भवनिधि तरई न कोई, जाओ बिरंची संकर सम होई।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी, इनके सत्संगति अति प्यारी।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम चरण बारिज जब देखौ, तब जीवन फल कर लेखौ।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम चरण बारिज जब देखौ, तज निज जन्म सफल करि लेखौ। श्री Ramachandra ki jai. Okay, let me welcome all of you to this satsang. And if you are joining us now for the first time, we are seeing Balkand, and specifically the katha pertaining to the meeting of Bhagavan Ram and Parasurama. These are two incarnations of Bhagavan Vishnu only, and it is one of those rare instances where you see one incarnation meets the other. And you may not know, but Parasurama was there for a very long time. Parasurama also met the next incarnation, Bhagavan Krishna also. So he was there until the next avatar as well. And this is one amsha of Bhagavan Vishnu only. Those of you who find all of this incomprehensible, it means you have not studied Hinduism well, and that means you still have to study well. There's so many things to study. And all of it rests on one very important fact about the nature of the absolute reality. The absolute reality is infinite in every regard. If that absolute reality is infinite in terms of knowledge, infinite in terms of power, infinite in terms of pervasiveness and all such things, well, there is nothing that you can put outside the capacity of the infinite reality. And to say that the infinite reality doesn't do this or doesn't do that, or has only taken one avatar and he will never take another avatar, that is actually conceit. It is conceit for you to go on claiming what the absolute reality could do. He's only taken one avatar. It never will come again. And all such things. But you talking for God now. In Hinduism, what is the knowledge regarding this? It is absolute. It can do whatever, that reality can do whatever he. And we say he because of the dearth of language. He, she, it, anything you want to say. Huh? There is nothing outside the capacity of the absolute reality. That is the idea. Huh? And for a mere human being who is an insignificant manifestation in this infinite reality, for him to claim big things about reality, what it cannot do and what it has done and will not do again and all that, all things. So then one amsha of Bhagavan is there as Ram, another amsha is there as Parasurama. At one and the same time. That's why I'm telling all of this. Two avatars, and they meet. Now when we left it last night, Bhagavan Ram. Naina Terere Ram, we saw that. Bhagavan Ram did Naina Terere Ram, means he told Lakshmana, hey. Well, no, not the head. Terere. Eyes. And Lakshmana quickly went and sat down. Because nobody was stopping Lakshmana. In fact, not only nobody was stopping Lakshmana, both Kaushika Muni, means Vishwamitra, and Bhagavan Ram, they are defending Lakshmana. This is a very interesting thing. Even though he is getting that Muni so angry, that Muni is burning with rage, they are defending him also. Now Bhagavan Ram tells him to go and sit down. Well, not tells, but gives him a little sign to go and sit down. Now, the Rishi speaks. The Muni speaks. Parasurama. I told you the story of Parasurama already. I don't have to go back to that. 279 ke baad, after 279. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai
bahai na haat dahai ris chhati.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Bakutharu kunthit nripadhati.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Bhayau bam vidhi phireu subhau.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
More hridaya kripa kasikau.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram.
Jaya Raghurama.
Jaya Raghurama.
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. गर्भस्रवहि अवनिप रवनि सुनि कुठार गति घोर. See my form. Now the Rishi is describing his former life. What is that? That when the wives of kings heard about my coming and my acts, they had miscarriage any pregnant wife. Only to hear. This is something which is throughout this Ramayana. Some way of expressing expression in those days, 500-600 years ago, or whatever time it was. It means out of fear. This will come many times again, so get used to it. They miscarried just to hear about me and my terrific acts. Then, Parasu achata dekhau jiyata beiri bhupa kisur. And yet, I'm holding the same axe, this axe here, and this little boy has insulted me and all of that, and still he stands alive. See where I was and what has happened to me now. Means Lakshmana, he's still alive. Bahainahat, the hair is a chhati. My hand is not moving with this axe, but my heart is burning inside with anger. He's telling about himself, Parasurama. Bhakutharu kunthita nripaghati. The axe seemed to have become dull. Now, of no use, no significance, anything like that. Bhayobhama vidhi. It appears as though Providence has now turned averse for me. Phireu subhau. My nature seems to have changed. Nature changing. More hridaya kripa kasikau. Otherwise, how can I be feeling this kind of compassion in my heart? Now see, he himself doesn't know. He starts feeling compassion in his heart. And it is all because Bhagavan's presence there, That's the presence of Bhagavan. That we have to attribute to that. Ajudaya dusaha sahawa. He is feeling compassion, daya, kripa, mercy, that kind of thing in his heart. And he says, it is unbearable for me because I am usually used to feeling some other thing. He's used to feeling anger and fury and all such things like that. But now he's feeling compassion. So it becomes like a burden. That is like, in Trinidad, the road so bad that when they fix the road and get good, you feel like something strange. Oh, we have good road? You're still looking out to dodge pothole. It's a strange thing. Sunisau, now let's see again now. Now he's talking like this. Sunisau mitra. So mitra is Lakshmana. Sunisau mitra, bihasi siru nava. Lakshmana laughed again. I was telling you last night, na? The most laughing in Ramayana is this person. Lakshmana keeps laughing at this Parasurama. Bau kripa murati anukula bolata bachana jarata janu phula. No wonder, Lakshmana says, that you are expressing such kripa and compassion, but your words are not coming out like that, you know. Jau pe kripa, jarahi muni gata, krodh bhaye tanu rakh vidhata. Dekhu Janak. See, if you are feeling compassion and you are speaking like that, well, I don't know what will happen if you're feeling anger. Now get the Muni more vexed now, isn't it? If you are feeling compassion in your heart and you are talking and acting like that, means all this rosh means anger, which you have been expressing. What will happen if you really get angry then? Dekhu Janak. Now Parasurama replies, look here, Janak. See? Hatibalaku ehu. This foolish boy. Kini chahata jara Jamapura gehu. This foolish boy wants to go to Jampur. Jampur means city of death. Begi karahu kina, akina ota. Quickly, why don't you get him out of my sight? Parasurama tells you, Janakji Maharaj. Dekhat chota kot and ripa dhota. He looks small, but his words are tall. I told you that yesterday, no? Kot and he's evil-minded, wicked, like that. Bihase Lakhana. Kaha manamai. Lakshmana laughed again now. He laughed again. But this time, now finally, Lakshmana on his own now. See, Kaha manamahi. In his mind he said. Because just now he told, why don't you get him out of my sight? Parasurama is telling to Janakji Maharaj, why don't you get him out of my sight? Lakshmana is saying in his mind. He didn't say it loud, finally. What he said? Mure akhi katahu ko nahi. Close your eye, you won't see anything. But good thing he didn't say that out loud. Close your eye, the whole world will disappear. You don't want to see me. But he said it in your own mind softly, so the Muni didn't hear. Bandhu kahai katu sammata tore. Now, the Rishi turned to Ram. It is you, he's telling Ram, it is you who are encouraging this boy. It is with your connivance that this boy is saying all of these things. Actually, Rama was not telling him to say anything, and Lakshmana not to say anything. Rama only has to tell once. Don't say. That time also, Nayana Tarere Ram, he just told the eye, did not don't say anything. That was the only imposition on Lakshmana in the whole thing. One time, Nayana Tarere Ram, he just told the eye. So it appears as though whatever Parasurama is telling to Ram, see, Bandhu kahai katu sammata tore. You are the one who is encouraging him to say all of this. Well, if this statement is taken to its logical conclusion, it is true also. Because Bhagwan is what? Bhagwan is not only like we were chanting just now, in the beginning there I was chanting some of those verses. There's one other verse comes from Aranyaka and it's so nice. He said, he's Akaran Kripalu, Bhagwan Ram. Right? So Bhagwan has all of these very wonderful qualities which we talk about all the time. So he showers grace without any reason. Kripalu. But Bhagwan, in addition to that, Bhagwan is also Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data means what? He is the one who is responsible for giving the result of our actions. And so, if this Parasurama is now reaping results of his actions coming via Lakshmana, well, it has to be coming from Bhagwan only, isn't it? Because he karma phala data. One more thing about karma phala. Please remember this. I want to tell you before we continue, because jo jasa karai so tasa phalu chakha. As we sow, so we reap. But it is just like when you plant bodhi or kareli or baigan. When you plant, you reap. If others don't get it before you, but you reap, right? So the work here brings a result here, and we reap that thing. But when we reap there, the bodhi and the kareli and the baigan, that thing is to nourish our body, isn't it? It nourishes. Well, karma, any type of karma, the result of it is actually supposed to do the same thing. It is supposed to nourish our spiritual health. And in that case, it will depend on how we respond to the karma phala. So when the karma phala comes, and I grind my teeth, and I flare up, and I curse God, and I do all these type of things, that time my response to the karma phala is such that it is like quicksand. What? I am going deeper and deeper. And if the karma phala comes and I respond to it with understanding, yes, this is only my own karma phala which has come, and it has the ability to nourish me spiritually. If I receive it like that, then I will be nourished spiritually. Meaning to say, I will develop patience, I will develop understanding, I will now take a resolve in my mind also. This result I did not like, therefore I will make sure in future that I do not do this type of karma again to get this result. Then I evolve like that. So if it is taken in the, like the baigan also, you could overeat the baigan and get stomach pain. You see, that is also phala, but how are you going to respond to the phala? You eat just sufficient to get nourished, isn't it? We don't have to eat so much to get belly pain and all that kind of thing. So all karma phala has to be taken in the right spirit. That is the idea. And then we can advance through that thing. So now, Parasurama there is receiving karma phala, and coming from karma phala data only. And he taking that thing really badly. And so much so that he himself is telling, no, my hand doesn't seem to be moving anymore. Vidhi Bam. Providence has turned against me. Like that. All sorts of things. But a devotee falls on the right side. Remember I was telling you? A devotee falls. He falls on the right side. But you see, Bhagwan Ram is there in front of him. Here, of course, is playing a role on his own of Jiva. All the characters are playing such wonderful roles for all of us. To Chalabin now, he goes on telling Bhagwan Ram all these sort of things. You are the one who is encouraging him. Because of you, he is telling all of this. Bhrigupati bakahi kuthar uthaye mana musukahi Rama sira naye. Rama laughs at all the accusations of Bhrigupati, of Parasurama. Then, Gunahi Lakhana, Bhagwan's thought in his mind. What is that? Gunahi Lakhana, kara hamapara roshu. Lakshman did the transgression and incensed him, angered him. And now he's taking out the anger on me. This is Bhagavan also thinking like this. Guna hi lakhan. Lakhana kar. Hum par roshu. But he is angry with me. Like. But this is how things and people in the world work. Then Bhagavan replies. And Bhagavan's calm disposition, balanced, equipoised. He replies. Shri Ram Jai Ram. This is just before 281. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
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 Ram kahe uris tajiya munisa.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
कर उठारो आगे कह सीसा.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
जही रिस जाई करिय सोई स्वामी.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
मोहि जानिय आपन अनुगामी.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
श्री राम जय राम. जय जय राम.
Shri
राम
Ram
जय राम. जय जय
Rama.
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय. राम कहेहु रिस तजिय मुनीसा. O great sage, O Lord of sages. This is how he addresses him. Munisa. Muni Isa. Muni Nam Isa. Means who is the Lord of sages. Risa Tajiya. Drop this anger. Bhagavan is telling them. Karakuthar aage yaha sisa. Your axe is already raised. And aage yaha sisa. And my head is forward. It means if you want to cut off my head, cut it off. Jehi risa jai kariya soi Swami. Oh Master, whatever will send away your anger, do it. If it means cutting off my head, cut it off like that. But whatever will send away your anger, you do that only. Mohi janiya apana anugami. Means you consider me to be your servant. Prabhu sevakahi samaru kasa tajahu vipravara rosu. Besh biloke kahesi kachu bal kahu nahi dosh. And Lakshmana did not have any fault. It was not Lakshmana's fault. He is defending Lakshmana also. After all that laughing and making him angry and everything, Bhagavan is now not only encouraging all the time, but also defending. See now the next verse. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Rama.
देखी कुठार बान धनुधारी.
Shri Ram Jai
चीन्हा।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
बंस सुभाय उतरते ही दीना।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। देखी कुठार बाण धनुधारी. This defense of Lakshmana. Lakshmana saw your axe, your bow, your arrow, Belarikahi, Risa, Biru Vichari. And he thought you were a great warrior. Naam Jan Pe Tumahi Na Chinha. He knew your name, he knew the name Parasurama. But he did not recognize you knowing you are Parasurama. Like that, Bhagavan is telling. Bansa Suvai Uttaru Tehi Dinha. Lakshmana gave a reply and spoke words which are befitting of the lineage from which he comes. So there is a perfect defense of Lakshmana's words by Bhagavan Rama. In other words, Lakshmana did not do anything improper. Jautuma Autehu Muniki Nai Padar Raja Risa Sisu Dharata Gosai. That if your appearance had clearly demonstrated to Lakshmana that you are Muni, Rishi, Munikinai, if you were dressed like a Muni properly, then Pada Raja Sir Sisu Dharata Gosai. Lakshmana would have taken the dust from your feet and put it on his head. But you did not come here dressed as a Muni. Like that. Now, what is there also in the whole story is Bhagavan Ram is really telling him, look, you came from a Rishi's house. Jamadagni Rishi was his father. You came from that house and you were also like that. At some later point in your life, you took it upon yourself to perform a certain task. But that task is now also gone. This is effectively what Bhagavan is trying to tell him. In other words, you should be dressed as a Muni. The work that whatever you was doing, it is all gone now. Huh? Then Bhagavan like that speaks again and again in soft Ram kaha Muni ka bichari risa ati badi laguchu kahamari. And also, and Lakshmana, you got lot of anger, big anger for a small matter, for a small little matter. Chuvata hitu tapinaka Purana. This is before 283. But I just touched the bow and break. It's a small thing, 283. Make it. Ke tu karao abhimana. And I am not displaying any abhiman. He had accused him of you also displaying abhiman, any abhiman and all. I am not claiming to have broken the bow. I just touched the thing. Like that. Viprabansake asi prabhutai uvaya hoi jo tumahi deraya. I'm just jumping now. This is after 283. See. Bhagavan went on speaking, and more Bhagavan spoke, more the Rishi calmed down. And see now. Viprabans ke asi prabhutai.
Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Rama.
Abhay hoi jo tumhi derai.
Shri
मुनि मृदु गूढ़ बचन रघुपति के।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
उगरे पटल परस उघरे पटल पर सुधर मति के।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
जय रघुराम
जय रघुराम।
जय सीताराम
जय सीताराम।
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। कहु सुभाव न कुलहि प्रशंसी कालहु डरहि न रन रघुवंशी. First thing, in our Raghuvamsha, Bhagavan is telling to Parasurama, no? Even if death shows up on the battlefield there, we don't turn back. But in the Raghuvamsha, there is utmost reverence and respect for the Viprabans. Viprabans means all the whole tradition of sadhus, munis, rishis, brahmanas, like all that. Vipra word is Tulsidaji, I told you. But Tulsidaji doesn't use the word brahmana. Tulsidaji uses a wonderful Vedic word. It's called Vipra. Vipra word is made up of two letters, B and Pra. In Sanskrit, it is Vipra. But in this Avadi, the V becomes B. Anybody who comes from North India like that, UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, like that, living in that part of the northeastern side, Bengal, all the V become B. So Vipra from Sanskrit becomes Vipra. So this is Vipra in Sanskrit. When you do Nirukta, Vipra means the B or the V stands for Visheshena. Visheshena. And the Pra stands for Prajna. Visheshena Prajna means that one who has the special knowledge. What special knowledge? Knowledge of the reality. That is here. It's called Vipra. So Tulsidaji uses this word. Throughout the Ramayana, 1,000 times he must be using it. Vipra Bans is the family of Vipras. Okay? Asi Prabhutai, they have such glory and greatness. Viprabans has such glory and greatness. That Abhaya hoi jo tumahi derai. That has two meanings. I'll read the Hindi for you, then you'll see. वो सबसे जो आपसे डरता है, he who is afraid of you, वो सबसे निर्भय हो जाता है. The one who becomes afraid of you because you belong to Viprabans, that person becomes most fearless. The one who is afraid of you. It means to say, if he wants to get fear from his heart, he has to be afraid of you and Viprabans. Then, the second meaning of that word, अथवा जो भय रहित हो जाता है, वो भी आपसे डरता है. Those who are free from fear, they also are afraid of you. That is the second meaning. So one meaning is, those who are afraid of you, they become fearless. Being afraid of you will cause their fear to go away because you belong to Viprabans. And second meaning is, even he who is without fear, he is afraid of you. The line can have both the interpretation because the presentation by Tulsidaji leaves it open for both the meanings. That is the idea. अभय होय जो तुम्हि डेराई, सुनि मृदु गूढ़ वचन रघुपति के, उघर ए पटल परसुधर मति के. When he heard these deep and profound words of Bhagwan Ram, and he saw how much reverence Bhagwan Ram had for him, Tulsidaji writes, the curtain that had covered his mind got lifted. The curtain of delusion it will be, that covered the mind of the Rishi, that thing got lifted. And immediately he broke out into stuti. But before, well, not immediately, he tells Bhagwan Ram also. He tests to see if this is Bhagwan Ram only. Ram, Rama, Patikar, Dhanu, Lehu. That also has two meanings. Ram, Rama, Patikar, Dhanu, Lehu. Hey Ram, Hey Ramapati, that is one meaning. O Ram, O Ramapati means Vishnu. That is one meaning. Or, Hey Ram, Ramapati kara dhanu lehu. Take this bow of Ramapati. So Ramapati can go with dhanu, the bow. So, take this bow of Vishnu. He had gotten that bow from Vishnu only. Maybe this is his own avatar. Then Amsha avatar. Khechahu mite mur sandehu. You string this bow and you will remove all my doubts. And then I'll know you are Ram only. And he stretched his hand to give the bow to Ram. Det chapu, aapu hi chali gaya hu. As he stretched his hand like this to give the bow to Rama, the bow left his hand and went to Rama by itself. Parasurama, mana, pismaya bhayavu. He was astounded. Parasurama was astounded by this. The bow left and went to Rama. It went to its master. Jana Ram Prabhavutava. Then he knew this is Ram, the Lord of the universe. Pulaka Prapullita Gat. All his hairs stood on ends. Parashurama. Jodi Pani Bole Bachana Hridayana Prema Amat. He put his hands together and he sang stuti for Bhagwan Ram with his heart not being able to contain the amount of love that flowed in his heart. Hridayana Prema Amat. And if you see this stuti now, let us just sing that one line, you will see. Everywhere, Jai, 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 he's telling, Jai Raghuvansa Banaja Bana Bhanu. And you go down to the last couplet of the stuti, just before 285. Parashuram sings stuti for Bhagwan Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Jai Kahi Jai 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 Raghukul Ketu Raghupati Gaye Banahit Hetu.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Apabhaya Kutilama Hi Padirane Jahat Kayar Ramachandra ki jai. So throughout this stuti, Jai Mahesa Mana Manasa Hamsa Anuchita Bahuta Kaheu Ajnata Chamau Chama Mandir Do Prata, like that. Glory to Bhagwan Ram, who is there sporting in the heart of Lord Shiva and all such things. And then Kahi Jai 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 Raghukula Ketu. And finally, Jai 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 Raghukula Ketu. This is Parasurama, the same one who gets vexed just now burning with anger. I want to turn the whole kingdom of Janakji upside down. You remember all the things that he had said? Countless things. Now Jai 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 Raghukula Ketu. After saying that, Bhrigupati, Tulsidas addresses him as Bhrigu. Gaye Banahi Tapa Hetu. He went away to the forest to do tapas. Because all his life he had spent, instead of doing tapas which he was supposed to have been doing, he spent making 21 rounds around the, remember I told you last night? 21 rounds around the earth to kill Kshatriyas. Now the next line is very interesting. Apabhaya kutil mahi paderane. Jahantah kair gavahi parane. Now all the kings who were there and who had come up with the plan, remember what was the plan? Snatch the princess. And if them two princes make any move, we hold them and tie them up. And if Janakji Maharaj make any move also, we'll finish him. And that was, they had come up with a plan, remember? So all of them, they were waiting there now. And they were glad because they knew Parasurama. They knew Parasurama to be a person with a lot of wrath and all such things. So they were happy when he came. So waiting that he'll kill whoever break the bow, because that's the first question he asked and all. First, some of them ran away, but this group stayed, knowing that he'll kill whoever, because that is his nature. Especially when he asked, who break this bow? So they were very happy. Now, when he sang Stuti for Bhagwan Ram, they realized that Bhagwan Ram conquered him. So if Bhagwan Ram has conquered Parasurama, we better run from here, yeah? And Tulsidas is jahan tahan kaya, these cowards, they ran away, all of them. They made themselves scarce. That's Trini language, isn't it? They made themselves scarce, all of them. Trini language, all of them does it. Now, the obstacle that was there in the marriage, that now obstacle is gone. Ati gahage gahe gahagahe bhajane baje savai manohar mangala saje sukhu videha kara baranina jai. Our Janakji Maharaj was so happy now. And everywhere the music started and all the kettle drums and everything started playing. In Trinidad, the tassa started. All the people started celebrating once more, because that which was the obstacle standing in the way of this marriage, that was now removed. Now Janakji Maharaj turned to Janaka Kinha Kausikahi Pranama. He turned to Kausika Vishwamitra Rishi, did pranam. Prabhu, prasad danu bhanjau Rama. By your grace only, Bhagwan Ram has broken this bow. Now, how they're telling like that, you know. I want you to see. Don't forget the thread of Ramayana. The thread is always there behind the lines. Like the thread is always hidden behind in the mala. Right? So, Ravan's boon was what? We saw that earlier. Ravan, when Brahmaji came, I don't want to die. No, you'll have to die. Everybody has to die. Brahmaji said, you have to change that boon. So then Ravan, okay, I will die only at the hands of man or monkey. Remember? I will die only at the hands of man or monkey. Knowing that which monkey will kill him. Or which man can kill Ravan. So Bhagwan Ram, or Bhagwan Vishnu has to come, it's called Manuj avatar. Manuj means he comes in the form of a man. No, only a man can kill. And at the same time, Bhagwan Ram cannot demonstrate or display or divulge his Bhagavat Tattva. He has to remain as. He cannot come demonstrating, I am Bhagwan. That is why he keeps telling, I only touched the bow. I don't know how it broke. I only touched the bow. That's an old bow, I think already, Then here now also, the demonstration by Bhagwan that he is an ordinary person is so good that Janakji Maharaj now is telling to Vishwamitraji, Bhagwan broke the bow only because of your grace. The Guru blessed the Shishya and so the Shishya was able to do that. Not that the Shishya is Bhagwan. Nobody is telling. The thread is being maintained behind the lines. Abba jo uchit so kahiye gosai. Now tell, O sage, what has to be done? And Vishwamitra tells to Janakji Maharaj, no, bow is broken. Parasurama came and all that hullabaloo and all that gone and everything. Right? Now Vishwamitraji tells a very nice thing. Just one chaupai before 286. See this. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
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 Kahamuni sunu Nath Prabhi. Syavara Ramachandra ki jai. Kahamuni. Because Janakji Maharaj asked, know what to do. How do we move forward from here? That is the idea. Kahamuni, the sage, replies, Vishwamitraji. Sunu Naranath, listen, O Lord of men. Then, Prabhina, wise, O Janak. Raha bibahu chap adhina. The marriage was conditional on the breaking of the bow. Marriage was resting on the bow only. Then, Tutahib Dhanu, Bhayo Vivahu. The bow is broken, the marriage done. The wedding is over. The conditions, you see, once the proper condition for something is met, that thing is as good as done. Surinarnaga Vidita Sabakahu. All the different species also, they know. It was conditional. So once the bow is broken, the marriage is over. That is also to tell that had the kings who were there kidnapped Sitaji, they would have been kidnapping the wife of Rama. Because the bow was already broken. That is the idea. Tadapi, yet still, society and all of that. See, this is a very important thing. There is already the condition met. The condition was the bow broken. You give it some thought in your spare time. But now there is a social responsibility to be fulfilled. That there has to be this ceremony and that ceremony and the other ceremony and all of that, which is to meet the social requirements. Because you live in a society. Man is not an island unto himself. He lives in a society. And this is why in Hinduism, this marriage is such a big thing. It's one of the reasons, of course, not the only reason. There are social responsibilities. And the social responsibilities are required because it is also part of the sanskarization process. That we live in a society and these are the rules and this is what we do and that maintains society. So now there are rituals to be done and so many other things to be done now. But the Rishi's directive for the ritual is also very good. See here. This is in the Doha, 286. तदपि जाय तुम करहु अब जथा बंस व्यवहारु राम जथा बंस व्यवहारु भूजि विप्रकुल वृद्ध गुर वेद विदित आचारु सिया Tadapi jai tuma karahu ava. Still now you have to do, even though the marriage is actually complete. That was the condition you had made for years. And the condition is fulfilled. Sita ji put the mala also. To be married done. But now there is social responsibility to be fulfilled. But he tells, the directive to Janakji Maharaj from Vishwamitra ji is this thing. How nice. Karahu ava jatha bansa vyavaharu. Such lines of Tulsidas ji, I'll tell you know, we have Shruti, Vedas, right? And the Shruti remembered and restated is called as Smriti. So the Shruti remembered by the sages or remembered by Bhagavan, remembered by anybody and restated is called as Smriti. And one thing that the Smriti does, it is restated for the times in which we live. To meet the demands of the time in which we live. So in Smriti, there are many, many rules. Because the Vedas will tell a principle, but a rule has to be made out of the principle that we don't do such and such or we do such and such, like that. Do's and don'ts. Based on the principle of this Shruti. So here, one such rule is stated, certainly very nicely stated by the Rishi. Karahu ava jatha bansa vyavaharu. You have to now perform the marriage ceremony. You see, Kaushik will come from Kaushika Desh. The Muni has come from another place. And this is Janakpur. They are two different places. So there we may have one type of practice, and here there may be a different type of practice. The first thing. Second thing is, the practice among ordinary people is one thing, and the practice among kings is another. So in the statement, you have to do according to both these things. This is what Vishwamitra ji means. You have to do whatever is prevalent in Janakpur, first thing. Second thing is, you have to practice or do or perform whatever is prevalent among kings. This is the directive given by the sage. Now, these are the rules laid down. You see? And we should never try to match or mix and match things. It is such a natural thing. But I am living in Janakpur. This is what we do in Janakpur. This is the first thing. Then mixing and matching that thing. No, we'll take a little bit of Kaushik Desh, you know. Na buddhi bedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam Gita tells. Don't confuse the mind of people. We are doing this all the time now. Why suddenly you want to do? And this is insofar as rituals and sanskar and all of those things are concerned. So, the Rishi's directive is very, very nicely put like this. Bhuja vipra kula vriddha gura, bhuji vipra kula vriddha gura, veda vidit achar. You call all the vipras, all the old heads, and then the guru and everybody, and you follow the Vedic tradition, how it is followed here. But the first thing you do, before all of that, Dut Avadapura Patavau Jai, send some messengers to Ayodhya. Bhagwan get married already, and if Farahe no, Morahe no. Mother and father, they don't know that the son is already, means by principle he is already married. Ana Indrapa Dasarathi Bolai, and invite this Dasharathji. Immediately Janakji Maharaj sent out the dutas to messengers to Ayodhya. Janakpur to Ayodhya is a long way. It's a long, long way actually in physical space. One is in Nepal and one is in India. It's a different country also today. Meanwhile, here in Janakpur, they started decorating this. And the decorations were out of this world. Tulsidaji went pages, chapters, dohas after doha in describing the decorations and all the preparations for this wedding and all of that. And the conclusion more or less is in 289c of this decoration. Just like he concluded there when they were decorating Himavan's kingdom for the marriage of Parvati ji. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Basai Nagar Jahi Lakshi Kari, Kapat Nari Var Beshu, Deipur Kai Sobha Kahat, Sakuch Hi Sathar Sesha Suyavar.
Ramachandra ki Jai Sharanam Sita Rama, Siyavar Ramachandra ji ki Jai Sharanam Sita Rama, Siyavar Ramachandra ji ki Jai Sharanam Sita Rama.
Syavar Ramachandra ki Jai. Basai Nagar Jehi Lakshi Kari Kapat Nari Barabesh. In that city where Lakshmi herself has taken the form of an ordinary woman. In that city where Lakshmi herself has taken this form, and she is dwelling, and they are preparing for her marriage. He says, Sarad means Saraswati, who is the goddess of speech, and Sesh, who has 1,000 tongues. They shrink from making any description of the beauty and the preparation for that wedding. They also shrink. Tehi pura kai sobha kahata sakuchahi. They hesitate to make any attempt to make any description of that place. The city was decorated, prepared so beautifully and decorated so well, because it is not any ordinary person. It is Jagat Janani Sita Maya, who is going to get married. The storehouse of all beauty and all that. Meanwhile, the Dutas reached Ayodhya, and they presented a letter from Janakji Maharaj to Dasharathji Maharaj. Dasharathji Maharaj, he was so happy. He gave so many gifts to those Dutas also. If you bring good news, people like you, you know. If you bring bad news, well, you're in some trouble. But because everybody like good news. Kari pranamatina pati dinhi. Then this is after 289 now coming down. Mudita mahi pa aputi ki linhi. The king himself got up to take the letter from them. Bari bilochana bachata pati pulakagata ai bhari chati. Means reading this letter from Janakji Maharaj, the king had all his hair standing in horripilation. And Rama Lakshmana ura karab bara chiti. Keeping Rama Lakshmana in his heart, he read this, and then rahi gaye kahat nakhati miti. Puni dhari dhari patrika bachi harashi sabha baat suni sachi. He read it for himself first, then he read it to the whole sabha in Ayodhya, and everybody was so happy. Le khatha rahe taha sudhi pai aaye bharata sahita hita bhai. And Bharatji heard, he was playing with his friends outside. He heard some letter has come. Bharat heard some letter has come. Then he quickly ran inside and Puchata ati saneha sakuchai tat kahate pati ai. Father, where has the letter come from? He heard some letter had come, you know. Where has it come from? Kusala prana priyabandhu do ahai kahahu kehides. And he heard from about his brother. And where are my two brothers? In which country at this time? They in Nepal. Sunisane hasane bachana bachi bahuri nares. And the rishi told to, the king told to Bharat and Shatrughna what was in the letter. What Rama is going to get married. Well, actually they are saying, you know, he's going to get married and all of that sort of thing. And all of us now have to go there. So now what? Bharat. Now Bharat going from tomorrow. Preparation for Bharat to go to. But this is a strange kind of Bharat, you know. What strange kind of Bharat? The Dulha don't reach there. Usually Dulha will leave from here and go there. But Dulha, what to say? All right. We will see then 2 more rows. Thus Doha chanting. Today, Ram Kumar family and Sivdat family. 2 families join up. A family affair. Very good. I was listening from over there. Prasad will be received by Mr. Dashrath Ram Kumar, who is our Vice President of Chinmaya Mission. Very sanskarized individual. Coming out from with the right sanskar, from the right family, and being in Ramayana for years and years and years. Today he had puja also. Today is also his Janmadin. So, the Janmadin of our Vice President. We'll sing Janmadinam Idam after Aarti. Just remind me this. Tomorrow, Waterloo Hindu Mandir, just opposite the Hindu Museum, Indian Museum. What is it called? Indian Museum or Indian Museum. Tomorrow, Sundarkan chanting. Ay. Do Saturday come already? You see, I only saying today and tomorrow. Me checking days and then kind of thing. Because it's immaterial for me. Because every day I have just gone read Ramayana. Okay. So Sundarkan chanting will be from 4:30. 4 o'clock at the Waterloo Mandir. Waterloo Hindu Mandir. Redundant word, eh? Those of you who are naming your mandirs and all that kind of thing, think about it in future. It's redundant, why? And if it's Hindu, what it will be? Mandir only. It cannot be Hindu synagogue. If you say Hindu temple, then it is not redundant. Because there are different types of temples. But Hindu Mandir is a repetition. Okay. Shiv Ganga Yatra on the 27th of this month. We'll be walking around Hanumanji 108 times, starting at 4 a.m. on 27th. Okay. Garam Masala bookings tomorrow. Tomorrow? Sunday. Sunday, 13th February. Next day. Garam Masala. Brunch. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 12 noon to 2 p.m. This is Valentine's brunch. Valentine's brunch. Okay. Then Saturday Sanskara. Saturday classes for children from 9 to 11 a.m. It's online classes. And our Jalpan extravaganza. Jalpan extravaganza on 6th of March. You come and get some nice things to eat. A big array of food. Different types of food with dosa and pizzoti, pizza, gourmet pizza, stone-baked pizza with a wood oven. You will not get it anywhere again. You will get Tex gas pizza. Okay. Those who want to sponsor items, you can do so. There's a list at the back, and you can donate items on the list. Please see our bookstall at the back. We have a large array of books. I'm seeing Vibhishan Gita and Tarangini stories and all. Vibhishan Gita comes in Lanka Kand. A very interesting portion of Ramayana. Okay, Aarti and then birthday song. आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद, वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद। सुख सनकादि शेष सारद, बरदी पवन सुत कीरति की।
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की।
आरती श्री
रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की।
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश, छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथ को रस। मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस, सार अंश सम्मत सब ही।
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की।
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी, अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी। व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी, कागभूषुंड गरुड़ के नीति।
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की।
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी, सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की। दलन रोग भव मूर्यमी की, तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की।
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की।
श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम।
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु, मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः, मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं, मंगलायतनो हरिः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रियसखे
जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रियसखे
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी
प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी
प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी
प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी
ईश्वरः सदा त्वां च रक्षतु
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 पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय
पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय
पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय
पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जय
जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम्
जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम्
जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम्
जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम्
जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रियसखे
जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रियसखे
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम्
सर्वदा मुदम्
सर्वदा मुदम्
सर्वदा मुदम् सर्वदा